recovery. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and today's guest is Johnnie Duvall. How you doing, Johnnie?
Doing great, buddy. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for being on our show today. So
Absolutely.
Johnnie is an alumni of the JAS program. That's Jail Addiction Services here in Montgomery County. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you end up at JAS, John?
Uh, uh, well, it started with drugs. That's allegedly how I got there. And I just got tired, man. I mean, and in the midst of getting in trouble and getting locked up, and I seen an opportunity going in the program, man, where I could probably, you know, real well, I could get my life together, and I took a chance at it, and it turned out well. And it was a little rough, but trying to, do something that you have never done before, and getting in the program, trying to figure out, how it go. You don't want to be seen as this guy and that guy because it's new, a bunch of ego in the way, bunch of pride in the way. As I found out a lot of times, you just let all that go, man, just get what you need.
Right. Okay. All right. So now, prior to JAS, had you ever been locked up before?
I have. I'd I prior to coming to jazz, I had just did 6 years in Lawton reformatory. Uh, Actually, I went to youth center, left youth center, went to Lawton, and I stayed there for a while. I got out and went right back to the addiction thing all over again, just like it never stopped. Just picked up where I left off at, and then
Had
this
you ever
last
gone in the
time,
program?
no,
Okay. So JAS is really the first time that you tried treatment, huh?
it is, and it's stuck.
So what was it about JAS that made a difference for you, that made it stick?
It it was a few things, to be honest with you, James. You see people moving around the program. Some been there longer than others. Some that kind of reached their point of getting back to their normal self, and you could see it. They were happy, they kind of peaceful, in spite of being incarcerated. You could still see that peaceness they had in them, and they had this calm about them. And the program provided that because you're separate from the rest of the jail. You can get out, you can talk to people, you can sit down and kind of interact, and you can kind of get into some stuff where you can work on yourself. And I like the results that I was seeing in other people, and I wanted that same thing.
Okay. Yeah, and that's true. JAS was at that time was like drug school. I tell people it's like drug school. You guys got up at like 7:30 in the morning, and you were out your cells all day in some kind of group, either run by therapists or run by me or run by self. That you ran yourselves. So what was it like having other inmates with positions like what were they called, motivators and peer leaders?
Yeah, yeah. It was, to be honest with you, that part was the hardest part.
So
You know,
explain to the audience what is a motivator? What is it compared to in the community? What's the motivator in the community?
a motivating community is the police.
The police. Okay.
The police. When you're doing something you ain't got no business, you come by and tell you keep it moving. If you're loitering somewhere, if you're in the store taking something you ain't got no business, he'll address you as such. In the program, it's such thing. They come up, they wake you up. If you're out of line, you loud. They let you know you loud. And the thing about it is, when you do something, they call your name out and say, I got Johnnie for being too loud. And when
Right.
they call your name out, you have to go stand on the wall for 30 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever the case may be. But it requires some wall time, right? And it felt really, really rough for somebody else in the green jumpsuit, just like me, telling me what to do. And I couldn't see past it at first. To me, it was like you being the police. Why they got police in the
uh-huh.
program in
Uh-huh.
jumpsuits, right? But then when my turn came to be a motivator, right? Because everybody get a turn, right?
Okay, that's important that everybody gets to do all the jobs. So
Right,
you'll get to be the police one day, right?
right, absolutely.
So that's the good thing about a therapeutic community. Because see, JAS is a therapeutic community actually the therapeutic community is known as community is the method. It's not so, the therapist being there, me being there, the addiction counselor providing groups and doing individual therapy is one thing, but the real, the real core recovery orientation is because you guys are doing the setting in the norm. You guys determine if the community is off the chain or working on something,
Right.
and you learn responsibility from doing work. It's not like you read a book on how to build a car. You actually are hands-on learning to be responsible and accountable by having tasks and jobs. That's what a therapeutic community does. So, a lot of people change without even knowing that they're changing by having a job.
Yeah, that's what happened to me, man. I changed with no notice at all, And I remember, man, having a conversation with you early on because you was instrumental in in my recovery at the time. That you know people are not gonna like who you turn out to be. So you might want to get prepared for that. And and it became that way. It got to the point, man. I was feeling so good about the person I becoming to, the team, the therapist and the case manager and the director of the program and y'all decide, who you want to be a co-chair or a chairman or whoever, roles like that, right?
Right.
And I remember like yesterday when y'all came and say, listen, well, you gonna be the co-chair. I said, the who? The co-chair. I said, no, it's impossible. How do that work like that? And say you earned it. The community respects you. And first of all, you lead by example. You do what you're supposed to do on a regular basis. And that's what we look for. And in an environment like that, this is not about being tough. It's not about showing somebody I'm tougher than you. It's about somebody seeing that you doing the right thing and it feels good and they want to do it and they really want to do it, but they need to see somebody else do it. In order to make them feel like they really want to do it. Like, okay, he can do it. I want to do it too. No, it ain't that bad. He tough guy. I wanted to. He took the chance and got and trust me, it paid off. And believe it or not, man, more people, look up to you more than what you possibly could even imagine as time goes on. So, it was a wonderful experience.
Right, right. Yeah, you led by example. See, that's the thing. A lot of people want to do the right thing, but in jail they're intimidated because the norm is not, to act like you got sense. The norm is to act crazy, because you're in jail. So in a program, when you act like, you know, you're responsible, it's setting a different tone and letting them know that it's okay to act like you have some sense and actually act like a grown man and learn some things and be productive. It's acceptable. It's against the street norm, but
Yeah.
it's good. It's a good thing. And how did you transfer what you learned in jazz to when you left jazz and where'd you go, to the feds or you went to the state or what?
I went to the feds first, then came back and went to the state. Uh,
Because they were using, they weren't using in Montgomery County Correctional, but when you got to the state and the feds, were people using drugs and alcohol?
oh yeah, that's you always gonna have that, man. That's just the way it is. You got people that ain't never getting out, and that's their method. To their madness. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying that's just what they do. But I had enough in my tool bag to be able to stay away from it. I had learned enough, and do what you're supposed to do. Stay away from certain things. You got a God, you understand. Make sure you wake up, you pray. If you got meetings, you go to a meeting, and you find something to do, man. And you study and just try to, stay the course. That's the base. That's really the best you can do. Just stay the course.
But well, the different places that you went, the state and the feds, did they have like NA meetings or anything like that?
They did. When I left the feds and got to the state, I I got there and I led the meeting. I ran in their meetings when I got there. That was really the only way the meeting was being done because they don't really care whether you have a meeting or not. They don't care if you stay in your cell all day. So I had enough time in jazz. So they ask you to how long you been doing in their meeting, how long you been in recovery, this, that, and the third, and it's okay. Well, you can do meetings every Wednesday and Saturday, and I did it for the whole time I was there. I never missed a meeting. Unless the jail locked down, I continued to run NA meetings.
That's good, man. That's good. And that's the thing. A lot of people do well when they're in a program, but then after they leave the program, they don't follow up. They don't go to outpatient, or they don't go to a 12-step or some other recovery pathway. So they lose what they gained when they were in a treatment. You know, the term for what a lot of people practice in treatment centers is called acute care. That means
Right.
that you think that the disease of addiction can be cured in one dose, right? So just like a common cold or something, you go to Avery Road or you go to a treatment center for 30 days and you're cured. That would be acute care. But for a disease like addiction or diabetes or cancer, you need long-term care. You need to change your lifestyle, and it's an ongoing process. It's not like an event. It's not like a one-time take a pill thing. So what you're describing is an ongoing process of recovery. You not only did you complete JAS in a good light and remembered what you learned there, but you actually continued by going to, you didn't continue at JAS, there wasn't no more JAS, but you went to NA. Right. Which was more of a continuation of what you started in JAS. JAS got you started, but the 12-step program that was available to you in prison gave you an opportunity to continue your recovery process.
It did.
So that was good, man. And how long were you gone from the time you left JAS to when you came back? How long was that?
7.5 years.
7.5 years. So yeah. Now when you left me, you told me you was gonna call me.
No, I apologize. 6.5. I apologize.
6.5?
I was 6.5.
So you told me you were gonna call me when you got out, and you were gone for 6.5 years. And everybody tells me that, right? Everybody said, "Yeah, James, I'm gonna call you when I get home, and I'm gonna do recovery, and I want you to help me get a job, and I'm spiritual, I found God, and all this good stuff," right? But very few people actually do it. And you are actually one of the ones that actually came back and re-engaged, just like you had never left, right? I'm like really impressed with, your character, because you said that and you actually did what you said, so you're a man of your word.
You gave me a few Jews, man, before I left, man, and I want to be completely honest about it. A lot of it, man, had to do with attraction, man. Being able to have some stuff, man, without just giving it all away all the time. Being for the lack of a better word, being a slave to a drug and not having nothing. You know what I mean? And and to watch you come in every day, man, and the stuff you say, because you was real caring, man. You got a lot to do, with my recovery. And even though you are my sponsor, people probably don't know it, you are my sponsor. I just wanted different, man. I didn't want to live like that. I didn't want to wake up every day wondering how I was gonna get this, how I was gonna get that. Where you gonna get the next one from? And it didn't start in with me, man. My family was hurting along the way because of me. And you don't pay attention to that because you're so worried about you being selfish, because that's just basically what it is. And I just got tired, man. And
right.
I don't know, it came a point in time where I was done.
Right. Yeah. We're going to take a break now. Pause for the cause. And it sounds like, yeah, you were ready. And they say what does it say? When the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Absolutely.
So JAS came at the right time for you. So my name is James Sutton. This is Road to Recovery. My guest today is Johnnie Duvall. We're going to take a little break and then we'll be right back.
Everybody in my house knows how to ride a bike except me. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't? I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
This is James Sutton. We're back with Road to Recovery. My special guest today, Johnnie Duvall, JAS alumni. So John, you were just telling us about you were very active when you were in the prison, running NA meetings and things like that, and that's how you avoided relapsing. And when you left prison, what was your transition back to the community?
Well, a transition ended up being going to another treatment center, Mountain Manor, which I had no idea of till, until then. I want to say probably maybe 90 days out. It was like, okay, we're going to send you to another treatment center. I'm like, okay, but I just left a treatment center. Okay, you're going to another one. So, I don't really have, so, I just had to accept, what was coming. And and it came, I got there, because I was on 8505, 8507. Then I got there. So that's a whole new process. Now you've been in jail for a while, and then you got to come here, and then you got to reacquaint again, with a different set of people, a different set of instructions, a different set of rules. Your emotions are kind of all over the place. So you got to get in here and get kind of acclimated, man. And it's different, after being in treatment for a while, then you leave and you go do prison time and you come back, because believe it or not, the prison time stuff still kind of surrounds you because you're in it. It's not like you're not aware of it, you're around it. Then you get out, then you come into this place, and I got to this place, man, it was totally different. People were super friendly. It just was weird, man, because you're not used to people coming up to you, hey man, I put some pants and stuff on your bed, man, some cosmetic stuff on your bed. Because where I come from, it seems, that's just not normal. What's the catch? And it wasn't a catch, it's just the way that it was, and I just kind of just settled into the moment, man. I had a tool bag of some stuff, man, from a program. So I had I had a little in my bag to kind of get me started, but this program was a little different from what I came from. And you got to do a lot of talking. You sit in circles, you get up in the morning, you come out, you have to talk every day. You have to raise your hand, you have to have something to say. And that's the part, huh?
I was going to ask you, excuse me, I was going to say, so New Horizon is a therapeutic community. It's actually a TC just like JAS, right? You got positions and you got jobs and you have groups.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. And started the same way I came in, and I had to learn the ropes, because when you live in a certain way, certain things, a lot of things change, if you play in the street, you get hit by a car. What I mean? At some point, you go and recover, and you put all you got in it, you get some recovery. And that's what happened, It was kind of odd because a lot of people there had done a lot of time, man, 25, 30, 40,
yeah.
People giving back life sentence, because a lot of them was on the 8505, 8507. And I came in, man, and I remember just sharing one time, where I came from, what I had, what I went through to get here, And a guy said something in the meeting. He said, listen, man, I don't know if you know or not, but what you said, and I heard you say, man, I needed to hear that. And and that that proposed me to speak more, not just to find something to say, but just to speak about the stuff that I had going on in my life, because a lot of it I didn't just never talk about,
Yeah.
And it got good, man. It got good, and before you know it, man, I remember calling you. You said, listen, we got this Zoom meeting here every Saturday, men's rap. I said, okay. I said, but listen, I need a sponsor. He said, okay, then I'll be your sponsor. So every Saturday, he said, but I need you, you need some kind of a position here. You need to take care, get somebody to bring the literature. I'm gonna call you every Friday. We're gonna do some step work, some stuff that was, redeveloping me into, getting ready for this road that I was going to travel. And it got good, man. Before you know it, man, it seemed like the weight of the world was just gone, man. I didn't have that pressure of, I don't feel combated, like, I got to get out of here, man. What I'm going to do when I get out, man? If I don't have nothing, I'm probably going to go back and get out. I done had them feelings no more.
Good. Wow.
I felt, and then on top of that, when it was over there, then they came about 3 days before I left and said, oh, yeah, you got to go to drug court, too. Drug court? Are you serious? Yeah, you going to drug court. I said, okay. So, your acceptance got to be real high. A lot of, your acceptance got to be like, at the apex high. And I'm like, okay. Now you talk about a guy that don't really want anybody telling him what to do.
Right.
And I'm saying, okay. So I got in drug court. He gave me 2 ankle braces, a GPS and a scram bracelet, and I had to, this is how I had to function. I remember calling you, you came pick me up, you brought me to this treatment center that I still today, I run a recovery house. Uh, I work in a recovery center called Kish Contact. It's a PHP housing for partial hospitalization. I'm a tech at night, but I do more than just being a tech. I got about 10 to 15 clients every day. Uh, I manage 2 other houses other than the house where I stay at. So this life has been good to me, man. And I can promise you, man, if you'd have asked me 15, 20 years ago what I wanted to be, I probably never raised my hand and said I want to be a tech in a treatment center.
Right.
But this is just how, this is the way it worked, man. And
right.
It's been good to me, man.
And you also don't forget that you took the Recovery Coach Academy and completed that. So you're a recovery coach, and you're actually one of the vanguard down at the men's shelter. Because as we develop, some services, some peer services at the new men's shelter, you're right there on the front line, trying to help those in need, not just in 12-step meetings, but in the community. So you're giving back, not only getting paid, in your job, giving back, helping people in recovery, but you're helping people that are homeless too. That's a wonderful thing, man, to do service work inside the meetings and outside.
Be honest with you, I like it, man. And see, to me, that's just tell you just how much of it's just not like a job. It's not like a job to me. It's just something I like to do. If this was something that was hard and it bothered me, that'd probably be the first thing I'd say, oh yeah, and I work down here, man, I don't really like it. It's just normal for me to go there. So sometimes I just miss it in a conversation because this is what I'm used to. I like going down there to help people, man. I took peer recovery coach, not for the sake of saying I got a piece of paper to say, okay, I did this, for the sake of saying that I might can help somebody. Because believe it or not, the experience of what you've been through is what helps the next person. They need to know that, listen, you can do this stuff. I tell guys all the time in the treatment center, listen, them chairs you sitting on the other side, I sat on that chair too. Them vans that you ride on, that I rode on too, it's no different. Only thing different is I drive the van now instead of riding on. And you can do the same thing. You just got to give it a shot, man.
Right. And what about how you doing in drug court?
Well, technically I'm in phase 4, but it's been backdated because my case manager was out, and then she asked me to do some other stuff. So now Thursday, I'll be officially in phase 4.
What does that mean? You about
I
to
mean
complete?
that I completed the program. I mean, pretty much saying I completed the program. The program is over.
How long is it taking you to complete drug court? Some people I see they completed after 7 years and stuff like that. How long for you?
It took me 17 months to complete a 2-year program. Most people take 3, 4, 5 years. They say like you like one of the only people that we know that took 17 months to complete this program. So,
and what would you attribute that to? What's your success?
Just wanting something different, man. Just wanting a new way of life, man. Just wanting to live different, man. Wanting to get the best I can get out of life, man, by just doing the next right thing. And it's not, I can't put a finger on it. This is probably what I'm supposed to be doing, if you ask me,
Okay. How does your recovery affect in your family? What's your relationship with your mother and your daughters now that you're in recovery and not in active addiction?
Man, it's funny that you said it because I remember leaving my daughter. I think she was like 3, maybe 4. I came back, she was like 12 or 14, something like that. And they ain't want nothing to do with me because I got 5 daughters. Because they got tired of me, just kept saying, "You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, you're gonna do this," and you never did nothing. So they became a point where you do it and don't say nothing, just do it. My life today is, they're all in it, man. They love me crazy. My mom, I just talked to her today, and I'm talking to her on the way home from work, and she's just crying. I'm like, "Mom, what are you crying for?" She said, "Cause it's just sometimes like when you call me, it's just amazing, just who you are today." She said, like, I call you and you You answer the phone, I need you to come down. You just come down and you don't complain or nothing. And I look at she said it just hit her. She said it hadn't paid that much attention to her that you are who, you turn out to be just what I wanted you to be.
Wow.
And you went through, and so, yeah, it kind of blew my mind that day when she did that.
Wow. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Because I remember when I was in active addiction, seeing my mother's face look so sad. And then before she passed, she actually saw me in recovery, and she was so happy that I was taking care of my daughter. I was a single parent. And, a lot of times when we're in active addiction, I heard somebody today say that they smoke PCP because they only hurting themselves. They ain't hurting nobody else. But then when she went to court, she saw the look on her sister's face as she was facing some charges. And so then it dawned on her that our behavior when we're using drugs and alcohol actually does affect other people, and that we weren't aware of it because we were lost, in addiction. But actually, they need to recover from us just like we need to recover from drugs. And it's a process. So every time they see you doing something positive, man, that's like healthy for them. It's helping them recover,
I got some daughters, man. They let me know on a regular basis that they love me. They'll pop up all the time of the day, come run in, jump on the bed, bring all the grandbabies, all this kind of stuff, so
that's good.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's really good.
That's good. What about relationships? Because you had, let me say this, we got a few minutes left, and I just want to say for the record, man, I've seen you get through some tough times because it was like, what, 2 months? I remember it was early after your release from New Horizon that your wife passed.
Right.
And usually people use that, that grief, man, they usually relapse when something very devastating like that happens. And you did what was suggested. You actually got more busy, in recovery, and honored her memory. So do you want to say anything about that period? Because that was a real challenge.
It was, man. To be honest with you, I had done enough at that point to know that, this is where the rubber meets the road at, man. This is going to teach, this is going to see where you at right now, in spite of what, what I might think sometime, because a lot of it's just a thought, this is what she really wants you to do, but what's going to come out of it if you do anything else, you got, it's not really, it wasn't even really rocket science to me. It just was to know that, listen, this is where me at, man. You're going to have to get tough. I remember calling you, you say, listen, just call me when you need me. But, no matter what, we don't pick up. Just keep trudging the road to happy destiny. And that's just what I did, man. I toughed it out. I prayed. I got up. I did, But a lot of it had something to do with her memory, Right. This is what she wanted. She wanted to see, the person she married for the last 30 years almost. So,
right.
And it never got me through. Huh?
Right. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. So we're about at the end of the program. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of yourself with our audience today. And I know that you're helping me in my recovery every day. Every day we talk, and every day, I see an example that it can work, So today, my guest has been Johnnie Duvall, a JAS alumni, and currently getting ready to complete drug court in record time, and getting ready to celebrate too in a couple of days. Getting ready to celebrate how many years?
9.
9 years in a couple of days. So this has been a road to recovery, and we'll see you on the road to recovery.